Okay, so today we're going to do a deck profile of Machina Gadgets from our friend George.
Hello, this is my hand.
And he plays them every single week and does very good.
Lowest rarity.
I do well.
Okay, so,
Lowest rarity.
never mind, we're done. Alright, just start, you can go whenever you want to.
Alright, what's up YouTube? Now, this build is kind of consistently tweaked. I've played this deck for the past, maybe 2 or 3 years. From format to format, I've kind of been editing like the trap lineups or the monster count a little bit. Just minor tweaks that really have potent effects on whatever my locals brings. So, this is what I have for the format so far. Green Gadget.
Oh my god.
Fucking shocker.
Gadgets?
3 gadgets. It's not Machina Gadgets without gadgets. Herpy derpy derp.
Broken.
3 Gearframe.
Or backyard.
It's like, it writes itself, kids. 3 Fortress. In some builds, I've seen 2 Fortress, but I kind of don't like that. Unless you're like splashing the Machina engine with like Gears or something, I guess, if you don't want them clumped in the hand. But since this is just straight up Machina Gadgets, then 3 is the optimal number. 2 Cannon. I was originally running 3 actually because Machina Cannon is essentially a Monster Reborn for my Fortress, obviously. It's one of the most quick, unexpected turns, like just like that. It's a 1-card Monster Reborn. So from now, I've tweaked the build a little bit with the trap lineup, especially so that to accommodate the less amount of cannons that I had. Also, it really works well with Scrap Recycler. That's right.
Oh my god, nobody's ever seen that before.
Exactly. No one ever runs this card, and no one ever expects it.
Nobody ever will.
They should.
So basically, summon Scrap Recycler, mill a machine. In a dire circumstance, you can mill a gadget if you have like a Reborn play set up, but most often you're going to be milling Machina Fortress. If you ever have clump hands of 2 or more gadgets, or you just open up with Scrap Recycler Machina Cannon, he absolutely does the most work of the entire deck. Also, the little potent mini Avarice effect can really affect the duel, especially slow-paced duels that I have against like Gladiator Beasts or Giant Ratbox at our locals.
Oh fuck, Ryan! Shout out.
Yeah, there's a shout out to Team Top Deck Maryland. Ryan Jones, what a guy! But
Oh my god.
great card. Do not sell him short. You can try him in at 1 or 2, but I would. You'll see how he's effective. I've gotten him Veilered and Warninged so many times. It is very funny. And Veiler.
Oh my god.
Good old hand traps. Shocker. Actually wasn't running any last format, which is kind of a bad idea. But now I've kind of just gotten the build a little bit more consistent. So I like 2 Veilers in this. It's good for random shit, like the random 1-up Stratos, or a good old rabbit like a-holes that our locals like to play. Cough.
Fuck you.
There you go. Now
He
for
plays Rabbit. Oh, he doesn't even want to be on camera.
Alright, spells. Mind Control wins games. You are silly if you don't run this. In an Xyz-dominated world, you run this or you lose. Alright? Steal your opponent's level 4, normal summon Veiler. When you normal summon Veiler, shit happens, because it's probably Mind Control. Limiter. If you don't run this, you might have 2 or less brain cells. Avarice, duh. Reborn, duh. Darkhold, duh. Heavy, duh. And 3 MST. Gadgets were always about 1-for-1 removal, but now, in this sort of day and age, it's all about monster swarming. So, in order to swarm successfully for yourself, you're going to need to clear your opponent's back row. And MSC is the best in the game to do that.
Back row hate's always fun.
That it is, Jake. That it is.
YOLO.
Billy says YOLO.
Because Billy's retarded.
The trap lineup is actually the thing that I edit the most in this deck. It's going anywhere from 3 main deck D-Prisons to 2 main deck Compulses to a god-awful main deck Blackhorn a few formats ago, which is kind of just... So, Solemn, you need it. Warnings, you need them. Bottomlesses. I would also run them. It's great against Thunder Kings or anything else that'll just stomp in your path.
Or Dino Rabbit.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
Lots of Xyz or other powerful monsters that have their ignition effects. Ever since Priority kind of went, Bottomless has definitely taken the cake for spell speed 2 based monster removal. Talking about monster removal, Torrential.
Torrential.
Oh yes. Compulses for existing threats or extra deck monsters that kind of go and shit on my parade.
Is that mains?
ND prisons. I actually didn't main this last format because it was kind of a much quicker format. So I've gotten to really enjoy main deck D prison. It shits on a lot of things, especially when people are definitely main decking Thunder King nowadays. It really also clears existing threats on the field that couldn't have been warninged or bottomless or torrential. It really does do work against stuff that like Shining or any other dirt monsters. And now for the last edition that I had, I actually recently added this in. Before last format and the formats before, I had run a Solidarity build in my gadgets. So I didn't have main deck Veilers, I didn't go into any non-Zenmeister extra deck monsters that much. But still, I've taken out the Solidarities and made it more trap based. And I've included 2 Call of the Haunted. Since Return of the Duelist, the gadgets and all machine decks basically have been completely revolutionized. Is that a word?
Yeah,
Fuck it,
close
whatever.
enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Grammar. exactly. So, you make Gear Gigant X and you win the game. After your opponent herp derps, you can either reborn a gadget with Call of the Haunted and just summon that same gadget and make it quick, rank 4. I actually love Call of the Haunted over Double Summon, which I've seen be played by another person at our locals.
Shout out Justin.
Shout out to Justin Underwood, who I'm sure would enjoy this if it's on his Facebook.
Yeah, I'm posting on his Facebook,
Yeah,
ruin his high school life.
We'll tag him, a rat bastard. He runs Double Summon in effect to herp derp over aggressive turn 1, which can actually work really well, especially if he has 2 or more and he makes a first turn Shockmaster, which is absolutely nutty. I just love Call of the Haunted because it allows me to get back Fortress if they have a mid-sized beater, if my opponent has a mid-sized beater on the field, or if they try and reborn my Fortress, which is actually really funny when I chain Cull in there, reborn fizzles, and they flip desk. And then I have to pick up my cards, which is always a hassle. But, yes, 2 Call of the Haunted. I'm loving it thus far. It is an excellent addition to the build. So that's it for the main deck. I think it's 44 cards, but since it's gadgets, it's pretty consistent. There's actually, the good old gadget decks were called 5th Gadget. It was a 45 card deck, of course, 3 of each gadgets, and it was the 9th of your deck, a 5th of your deck was gadgets. And it was basically gadgets, removal, and that's all it is. And basically I've taken that deck concept to a different level this format, and I think it's doing pretty well. My locals, I do pretty well. I'm kind of on a dry spell. Let's change that soon.
Let's not talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I'm losing. I don't like losing.
Exactly. Extra deck. I use these shitty ass sleeves with some female on them. Look at them boobies. Yes.
I like boobies.
Billy likes
We know
boobies,
you do,
guys.
Billy.
Wonderful.
Love boobies.
Main deck Chimeratech. Absolutely. You main deck 1 or you are silly pants. Catastor and Scrap Dragon. Reborn Veiler has always become a just-in-case play, so you don't really need that many different Xyzs, and I guess unless when new ones come out in the future, it might be dropped or altered a little bit. But I love Catastor, I love Scrap Dragon, they've helped me out in much more ways than I can imagine, and I love them. Utopia and C39. I originally had 2 Utopia, but since Return of the Duelist, I've kind of had to edit the number of rank 4s in here. At least one and at least one. He actually just won me a game over Chaos Dragons last week, so Utopia Ray is a great card, and especially with Call of the Haunted. As long as you have that and it goes through, reborn a gadget, summon a gadget. Utopia, C39, poke for 4. It's wonderful. Photon Papilloperative. Excellent card. A lot of stuff setting nowadays. I'll make him sometimes to bait out a Snowman Eater if I really want to OD later in the duel, or if my opponent has a Zen mains and I can actually run over the Zen mains with gadgets then. The Photon Papilloperative actually is one of my favorite cards nowadays. Just clears over Spear Reapers. Endless uses. Roach, I've had for a while. I'm actually not sure why I kind of kept him in here because I really don't make him
I've
that
never
often.
seen you make him. Ever.
He's
They were
there.
good against dragons last format.
He just
Last format.
Yep, he had uses, and now I'm not quite too sure. He's good against the synchro threat or against, I guess, the mirror, but again, you can just make an Xyz and run over him. We'll see how it pans out because he's still a very good card. Yeah, I'm debating his legitimacy at the moment. Maestroke, if I had another one, I'd run another one. He's a beautiful, beautiful card. He's actually one of the sole ways, besides trap base removal, that I can get rid of Catastor. You know, just put him in defense and poop over him. Yep, just gonna poop on his face.
Spirit it.
Exactly, wonderful. Fairy King of Hitler Soldier. He's actually a great card. You'll make him in times like if your opponent has a Zen mains or something, or they have another high attack monster. He'll get over stuff that has 28, or I'm sorry, he can crash with stuff that has 28 and get over those, again, higher ranged beaters if you don't want your fortress taking a blow or you need the fortress to stay on the field. So he's done well for me, actually. I really do enjoy his presence. Gemini Pearl I do have at the moment. On my dual network build, actually, I don't think I have him in here, but I do like him as the 26 obscure number, can beat over lots of 25 base stuff, because that usually is the magic number. It's like a threat against Utopia, whatever, Stardust, Djinn, any weird stuff that you see at the locals. 25 is usually the max for boss monsters, so Gemini Pearl can do it. Also, if they decide skill drain, then that's pretty much good. And Gear Gigant. Beautiful, beautiful card. Oh my goodness. Call the Haunted just made him like exponentially more playable. He whores himself out to Gearframe, and at what a marvelous extent. God, I run 2, and I actually did pick up a third
Just so
one.
great. Oh, excuse me, I must go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I feel like I just soiled myself a little bit. But I like 2 over 3 because 2 with 2, it's still a good amount. And if I ever need to recycle him, then unfortunately I can't use Scrap Recycler, but I can still mill through the deck, or sift through the deck, to hopefully get Pot of Avarice. Or I could even, several times I've used Call the Haunted to bring him from the graveyard, and then compulse him back to the extra deck when I have other monsters on the field. So there are ways to get him back if I ever need that third one, but the third one I feel like would just take up a bunch of extra deck room. Beautiful card. Oh my god. If you're running Machina Gearframe, then you're running him.
Would you get him a tissue?
Yes, for the 4th time I'm on his dick. This is 4. Okay, sorry. Shockmaster.
Oh my god, really?
Oh, absolutely.
Reprint.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, fuck that, whatever. God, I literally creamed when I opened the freaking Shonen Jump Alpha promos. And I was like, cool, there's 2 in here. Let me sell this other one. But Shockmaster, yes. He's a glorious, glorious card against a bunch of other random rogue decks like Zodia or Final Countdown shit. And he's also really good for that late game push that you really need to safely OD on your opponent. So definitely have one. If you have like an Offering or Double Summon and Call the Haunted build, then you might run one too. And again, it's a lot easier to pick up now that the tins are going to come out in October. So pick one or several up. I actually do run Leviathan. That is my cell phone. And that's my mother, but she can wait. Card games are more important, kids.
Children's card games.
Exactly. Dear God. I run Leviathan for just in case Scrap Recycler play, because there have been games where I've opened up double Scrap Recycler. I have him just for sheer attack bonus, but I did have Zen mains in here, and I kind of go back and forth between Leviathan and Zen mains depending on if I've tweaked the build anyway, or if there's other pre-tourney adjustments that I need to make to the deck. So I do like him as an option. Plus, Mind Control has me more playability. Are you seriously calling me right now? My mother is calling. Okay, last extra deck card. Big Eye, obviously. 2 Fortresses help me in so many more ways imaginable. He just steals threats for that big final late game push, and you can always recur the detached fortress.
If you want, I
with,
can
like,
stop and edit.
Call the Haunted,
You can talk to your mom
or
real
a
quick.
Machina
I'll just
Cannon.
add on
Fuck your mom.
Okay.
I think I kind of whenever.
Yeah, we pretty much went over Big Eye. We're coming back. We had to take a break
My mom called me
twice.
God damn it, it was really annoying.
So, yeah, everything was fine.
Well, everyone's safe. Alright.
I just put in a nice little smooth transition.
There we go. Do one of those swoosh effects. Alright, side Dirk. My locals was kind of weird.
Well, amen to that.
Join the
And
club.
also the decks that are there are a little weird too. So I kind of actually bring a deck box full of side deck stuff every time I go there, but it's mostly remained the same. Little tweaks here and there every time that I go there. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into it. Rivalry, dear sweet baby Jesus in the cradle. This card,
This card just destroys.
this card, man. Windups, Dino Rabbit.
Evil.
Well, yeah, it's Jake's Evols, Glad Beasts, Giant Rat Toolbox. I say that because I always seem to lose to it.
Because he's a tool bag.
Nah, he's a good.
He's cool. We like him. We like you, Ryan.
Ryan's
Shout out
good
again to
people.
Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan. All right.
Team top deck.
This is great upon the summon of, like, say, Thunder King, which is seeing a lot of play nowadays. A lot of the decks really will go into their monster side decks. Wait, not like large side decks. I mean like side decks that have monsters in them, and try and spice up the monster types. Exactly. So it's a great card to chain, especially when your opponent summons a monster. So it's almost like a nice set of removal right there, and it's also a really good lockdown for other decks that really need to focus on one types. In fact, I've sided out a bunch of stuff in the deck to kind of accommodate for a slower, more gadget control based aspect of it, which kind of really doesn't sound like gadget control. That almost seems a little slow. Reminds me of oppression gadgets back in the days. Those were the times. Yeah. Rivalry, side 3, or you're a noobtard.
Side 3, you're bad. YOLO.
At the moment, I'm siding 2 Blackhorn. I used to have this mained, and then I kind of took it out completely, and now I actually had it originally sided against Chaos Dragons because I really didn't have that much side to side against them. But this has kind of proven its usefulness, especially in Game 2 if I had lost, or I'd sided into the game which I had lost, so I would have the chance to open with it and set it. It's good against a lot of Xyz-based decks and Synchro-based decks like Dino Rabbit, Windups, Samurais, Evils.
Everything.
Yeah, it's pretty good as well. I wouldn't side it if I knew someone was going to side like Cyber Dragon against me because I definitely have other threats or other.
Outs.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word. Other outs to Cyber Dragon as well.
Oh yeah, I'm
You know.
Shout out to Jake.
Jake,
Shout out to myself on my own channel.
What a noob.
I have a podcast.
Wonderful. Dust Tornadoes. These are actually pretty useful. A lot of the decks that I play at locals kind of have a similar play strategy to me. It's about maintaining field and hand advantage and kind of with heavy back rows. So against the decks that are like that rely on field spells like maybe Dark Worlds or GKs, or against back row heavy decks like Giant Rat Toolbox. Can say it again. Shout out to Ryan. There we go. Jesus Christ. GBs. I've sided a few times against certain Dino Rabbit builds, the ones that are especially back row heavy. I'd also sided in games where I think that the deck that I'm playing against could side into back row, or especially Skill Drain, which hurts me. This is a great card to side against Dark Worlds, especially when they banish from their grave as a cause to activate gates, or when they pay 1,000 to activate Skill Drain. It's also kind of unexpected because a lot of people will be siding the Decrees. However, so they'll try an MST and hope to find a Decree when in reality you just change their MST and make them minus. So I like this card over Royal Decrees. However, if I know someone's like actually playing a sort of rogue deck that's really trap oriented, then I might actually side these out. So again, my side deck is actually completely dependent on the type of decks that I'm seeing that day. And again, that big deck box full of side deck stuff does really help. I don't know if this is out of range, but
No, you're good. Everything's in there.
at the moment I have 3 Shadow Mirrors, just because I have a really tough time against Dark World. And I basically signed these 2 against Dark Worlds.
Clears.
These actually definitely prove their usefulness when within Zector's last format. But now I'm kind of tempted to drop this down, like maybe to 2 or 1. But it shits on Dark World so much. This is honestly, if you draw this, then you can win. There's almost no way that they have outs against it, unless they draw an MST heavy or Dust Tornado, any sort of non-monster based spell and trap removal. There are actually some Inzectors, maybe 1 or 2, and there's like Inzectors or Gravekeepers that'll actually pop up at locals now and then. So this actually does really do well against those decks. So I kind of have 3 in here, but again, the side deck is very malleable and really depends on what I'm playing against. 2 Chain Disc. Actually, I'm kind of contemplating bumping this up to 3 because it really does do lots of work. I would side this also against game 2 if I had lost, or I'd side this in the game that I had lost against Dino Rabbit in order to set this so I could remove from play the rabbits, their tour guides, whatever. This was really useful against Hieratics and Monarchs. What's the thing?
Frogs.
The
Yeah,
Treeborn Frog.
frog Monarchs,
There
exactly.
we go.
Treeborn Frog, you hit it and you're good. There are also other random decks like Samurais that are at locals too. Kagamusha, boom, they're done. They don't have a tuner, except for Valor, unless they run one, but the
Monkey with a stick.
doesn't run Valor.
Monkey with a stick.
So yeah,
Best
Chain
card in
Disc.
the game.
It's a very, very good card. And lastly, I know, it's kind of hypocrisy, hypocritical. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. But System Downs. Disturbing against the mirror match. Even though only 1 or 2 other people play Machina Gadgets at my locals, it completely rapes them. Unless they really herp derp turn 1 against me. I like System Downs over Cyber Dragons because Cyber Dragon is really weak to back row or any sort of monster based removal.
It's weak against what?
Back row.
Is it really
Oh,
weak?
okay. Is it really weak?
It's
A little bit.
it's marginally weak. Bottomlesses, Torrents, Warnings, even a goddamn just in case Solemn. That'll all completely shit on Cyber Dragon. Also, if that's really the only play that they have, and I can just Veil or the Chimeratech and it'll be at 0. But that's after they've sucked up my field. Yeah, it's really good when I just have when I have a Fortress on field and they summon Cyber Dragon and then suck up and go Chimeratech and attack, and I chain call the Haunted and bring back the Fortress that they sucked up and they can't do anything about it.
And then they cry and scoop.
Yeah, and then they get their tears on my cards. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Get this off.
Then you like lick their tears.
Salty. They provide sustenance for the later rounds. But this should be 15, and if not, then I'm a cheater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Cool.
We're good.
I actually didn't count, but I really don't care.
Brandon.
So, that's the deck. It's a pretty fun deck. I've actually been loyal to it for several years now. So, yeah. It's really cheap. I really...
Well, I mean, Gear Gigant, but whatever.
Yeah, that's honestly the most... definitely the most expensive card. And
Doing Shockmaster.
well,
at the moment.
It's getting the
Reprint.
tin
getting the
print.
reprint, exactly.
Konami's game.
But this bitch. You can still run Machina Gadgets competitively without Gear Gigant. You could even run a Solidarity build if you like, if you don't have him, just for that extra quick aggressive punch against your opponents. But the key to any good Machina Gadget build is consistency and back row. So those are my pro tips. Also Scrap Recycler. That's pro tip number 3. You run him and you will go places. So this is Pissachus. I have a YouTube account. I don't make videos. Fuck that. I don't care.
That's what I'm here for.
Exactly. He's got the camcorder. So this is the deck. Enjoy yourself.
Rate, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, please.
Rate,
I need
comment.
I need more than 4 people subscribed. Come on. These are better.
It's only his friends that
Yeah.
subscribe.
I have no friends.
He has no friends. Have a nice day, evening, night, afternoon, life.
Whatever. It'll be up by Sunday.
There you go. Have a good one.